What's up? Welcome back to a new video. Welcome back to the studio. So another day of making music, and today I want to break down this track that I made in Logic. It's an Afro track. Hopefully this track and this video can inspire you to keep pushing and keep producing. That's why I keep on making these videos, so that you know that you're not alone. You must get to the production at all costs. No matter what, you must keep on producing. That's why I keep dropping these videos. So let me break down this track. I think it's super dope. Okay, so here's the project, and I'm gonna play it from here. I like that piano there. And then so what I started with is this classic vibraphone sound here. So I'm just going to open up the instrument and show you what I used. I used the Sculpture plugin, and it has this sound here that I loaded up there. So if I can solo it, it sounds like this, and I can just open up the notes so you can see it. So that's just the sound that I loaded up there, and you can kind of hear that it also has some delay. So this is without the delay. It doesn't sound interesting at all, so I threw in some delay on it. And then after that, next, what I threw in was the sound in ES2. So this is just single notes. What I did to this sound was I just added a little bit of EQ and just took off a little bit of the I think the low mids, and then I also added a silver verb, and then so just some reverb. So without both of these, it sounds like this. It doesn't sound interesting at all, but I just added some reverb and some EQ just to control the sound a little bit and make it sound super interesting. I'm really enjoying using these stock plugins. So both of these, they sound like this. And then after that, I also threw in a kick. Super nice and punchy. So this is the heavy kick that I kind of manipulated from the drum synth plugin. I really am enjoying using this plugin because it allows me to design my own kicks from the presets that they have, and then I can kind of create my own kick. And these are the kind of kicks that I can maybe turn into samples that I can later on have in my store and share them with you guys if you want these same kicks. So what I did, I just turned down the pitch down like the pitch -8, and then the sweep is around 61%, and the shape is like 23%. And I also just made sure that the decay is on 7%, and I also added some saturation around 17%. So that's what it sounds like. And I also added some overdrive to the kick just to boost it a little bit. So without the overdrive, it sounds like this. It sounds nice, but it's very weak. But with some overdrive, it sounds like this, just to give it that punch. And then after that, I added this sound here. So I threw in a little bit of some EQ to take out a little bit of the low frequencies and just drop down a little bit of the high frequencies because I felt like it was too sharp. And then I also added a silver verb just to give it a little bit of some reverb. So without the reverb, it sounds like this. Let me actually turn off the EQ as well. So with the EQ and the reverb, it sounds like this. Just like that. And then after that, I also threw in some drums. I used Ultra Beat. Ultra Beat has some really dope drums. So I just used the drums that come in Ultra Beat. So if I play it back, so that's my drums right there. So just to add some really nice drum groove that's super nice. And then I also added some preset called Slow Warm Swells, and this is in Sculpture as well. kind of like a pad sound that I just added there. And then next I also threw in a bass. The bass sound sounds like this, but if I go an octave lower, it's also in Sculpture. It's called the double bass. So that's what I use. So if I play it in the track, it sounds like this. Ah, that sounds super cool. And then after that, I threw in some chords. So these chords, I just threw them in there just to add a little bit of a nice touch to them. So it's the electric grand in Sculpture. So here are my chords here. So that's the chords. So I just played just those triads. And what I wanted to do with these chords is that I also wanted to just layer them with other sounds as well. So I also added another sound here, which is this one here. I added this this broken shifter sound, which is this sound here, just to layer it. And then I also added another layer of this sound, which is like a pad. I think it sounds beautiful. It sounds amazing. This is called the filter passages. Just to layer that. So the three of them sound like this. Ah, that sounds good, bro. And then after that, I wanted to throw in something that's kind of like arpeggiated, something like an arpeggio right there. So I also dropped something in ES2, and this is just basically the default patch. So this is the sound. So here are the notes. It's just a basic arpeggio. It just continues like that. I also threw on a silver verb, and then I also threw on some tape delay. So without the reverb and delay, sounds like this. Doesn't sound interesting at all. But if I drop in, let's say the silver verb first, sounds like that. Sounds good. And then with some delay, and maybe I might want to EQ it a little bit if I want to, just like that. Just so that it doesn't sound too muddy. I think it sounds pretty cool. And then after that, I just threw on some loops, which is like this top loop and then a shaker. So here they are. And then here comes the shaker. And then I also added in some background atmosphere sounds. You can get this for free if you check the link down below. And then I also threw on this synth here. Let me just solo that so you can hear how it sounds. This is just an effect that I found in Apple Loops, just to throw in something random that just plays randomly in the track. Then I also have a crash, just a nice crash like that. And then what I also did is that I also threw on the vocal that I used in the beat that I made yesterday of the video that I dropped yesterday. It sounds super cool, yo. So what I like to do with these vocal sounds is that I like to throw them in there just to kind of get an idea of what it would sound like with like a vocal. I can always, maybe if I want to replace this vocal later on and then just replace it with another vocal if I do want to. But if I want to leave it as is, it's fine. But I don't want to keep reusing the same vocal. You know, it's just like a placeholder just for me to remember that I need to throw on a vocal in this track. So this is the vocal here. It sounds super cool. I think it sounds super cool. And then after that, I also added this one other sound effect. This is just like a boom crack FX sound. It's just kind of like building up in the background as the track is going. Just to build up the track. Just to build up the track right here on this section here, and as the track comes back in, because what I like to do is I like to create my tracks in loops so that it kind of has kind of like a semi drop. It builds up and then it goes back down, so that it kind of has that feel of, you know, kind of a complete feeling, so that I can kind of have an idea of where the track can go. So it's gonna be easy for me to arrange after I have this little bit of an arrangement going on. Now the bass and the keys. And now the layers and the other sounds all can just come in. And now it's just the kick. I took out the drums. So this is like the breakdown. And this is where it's supposed to come back. And then maybe if I want to, I can even amp up the energy on the second section there, or maybe just make it dissipate and then maybe this is the climax. But I would love to also raise it up a little bit higher in terms of energy, because I want the energy to keep going up and, you know, like up until it gets to a point where it gets to the climax and it's super energetic and it's super powerful. So that's the track I made, and I hope you found this super inspirational and you picked up something and you found this super helpful. If you did, make sure to drop this video a like. I also appreciate it if you also subscribe to the channel. I'll keep on continuing to drop videos like this, and I'll see you in my next video. If you didn't watch yesterday's video, you can definitely check it out here on screen if you missed that video. But anyway, I'll see you in my next video. I'm X and I'm out. Peace.